everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. You guys know who I am. I'm Dr. Angela Butchester, and I'm so glad that you are here. You know what I like to do on my show? I want to enlighten you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you to become your best self. And I believe that's what my guest wants to do today as well. Stephanie Gurley is here today, and we are talking about her book, Refreshed in the Spirit. So go on, get comfy, get cozy, get your coffee or get your tea, because we are about to get started. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Daily Spark TV.
Hey, Dr. Chester. So glad to have the honor to participate on your TV show.
I'm so excited to have you on, and I cannot wait to talk to you about your book. Now, there may be some folks out there that are unfamiliar with you or your work. So first question to you is, what makes you you? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am from East Texas and married for 33 years now with 4 children and 8 grandchildren. And what makes me me is God. And I am who I am by the grace of God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know there's someone going, grandmother, get out of here. I love it. It's beautiful when you're doing what you're supposed to do. We look refreshed and we are able to go out there and be that billboard for the Lord. And I tell you, it really is something about living a right life. You know, we are able to be settled in our spirit, and we can really share what God has given to us. So thank you so much for coming on. Now, being an author, is that something that you have always wanted to do, or did you find that through life's circumstances, you needed to share a story and this was the perfect way?
Most definitely through life circumstances. And, you know, if I hadn't had the struggles and suffering, I probably wouldn't have been an author. But however, I've always loved writing and started learning that in high school in journalism, and loved writing poems, and that's fun stuff. But anyway, I didn't really know that I would become an author, but God did.
And I love it. I love how he calls us sometimes to a purpose that we didn't originally think would be ours, but we're able to walk confidently nonetheless. You just never know what's going to happen in your life. Now, speaking of that, you have the title of your book is Refreshed in His Spirit. Love the title. How did you determine that that should be the name or the way that you would describe your book?
Through my testimony, I believe God refreshed me in His Spirit. And when I surrendered my life to Him, He gave me that thought and feeling. My life had been refreshed totally. Totally changed and just became the new creation that He created me to be. The old self was gone and this was the new me. And I feel He gave me that title, or I know He gave me that title. And so I knew that was to be the name of the book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when you were sharing your story, because I understand that this is a story about something that happened to you. Now, disclaimer, and I usually say this on radio, right? We're not going to tell you all of the bits and pieces about the book. You have to purchase a copy of the book for that. But if I understand correctly, this is about something that happened personally. How was it sharing that story? It's one thing when you write fiction, you make it up. But when it's about you personally, did you find that there were any moments where you had to step back for a moment before you were able to keep writing?
Okay, so I would say those moments were probably beforehand, before I was writing, because I already had struggled with being obedient to do that writing. You know, the writing of the book is once I became obedient. and I didn't struggle through writing it. It was beforehand when I wasn't being obedient that I had the struggles to open up with those hard feelings, you know. So being transparent to get to that point to write, yes, it is very hard to admit, you know, the disobedient, your wayward self, and present that to the world. But once I said, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm repented to God that I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to write this, and no matter what happens, I'll bind it myself. I'm going to write the book. So I went away for a week, and I was obedient to God and wrote the book, no matter what the feelings were.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely understand that, and I love that you are so forthcoming with that, because I've spoken with other authors that say the same thing. The conviction is the before, because God tells you to write the book, and you're hesitant for one reason or another, or you just kind of put it off, and then you get to the point where you just can't take it anymore, and it's write the book. And you feel so refreshed or relieved or just better having done what God has purposed you to do. I love that. Thank you for sharing it. Now, my viewers are know that I'm a breast cancer survivor, and from time to time, I share bits and pieces of that story. I know that for me, hearing or being confirmed that it was the big C kind of takes the wind out of you initially, but then you fall back on your faith and you move forward. You had some equally as potentially devastating news given to you. Can you tell us what happened? Of course, not telling it all, but can you tell us what happened and how did you deal with it just in those first few moments?
Well, in those first few moments, oh my goodness. So I was in the hospital by myself, and I'd been sick for a long time, and you know they didn't have the technology they have now. So anyway, but so I was alone when the doctor came in and said you have a brain tumor, and I was a baby in Christ. I didn't have that faith, and it was very hard. I wailed uncontrollably. And when my husband and sister did get to the hospital and they received the news, a doctor came in and he was explaining that if it was malignant and if it wasn't, that these things would happen, you know, and he was describing it. And I just flew out of the room and ran and hid and bawled. It was so devastating. But that was the bad news. But I want to share that, you know, there's good news. There's a lot of bad news going around right now. There are so many sick, so many have died from COVID, and there's so much bad news. But I'm here to tell you there's good news. And that good news is Jesus Christ. He has came to give us he is victory, and we have victory in Christ. It's a win-win. If I'd have known the things I know now that day, I probably wouldn't even ran out of the room, because I know now there's victory in Christ. And so we need to cling on to that good news and not all the bad news, because with God, anything can happen. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I find that for so many people, you just assume that someone is grounded in faith when the bad news happens. And thank you for sharing that you were a babe in Christ. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because perhaps someone who's watching this program today, they too are a babe in Christ. And to know that you were able to go from that point to this point, then it gives them the encouragement to keep moving forward as well. So I love it. I love it. Now, with that being said, it is time for us to go to break. But before we do, Stephanie, can you please remind everyone what is the title of your book where can we get a copy and how do we stay in contact with you?
So it is Refreshed in His Spirit. You can get it anywhere online where books are sold. And you can stay in contact with me on Facebook under Southern Spirit at Steph Gurley, or a newly created website, stephaniegurley.com.
Alrighty, everyone. Now you know where we can get a copy of the book. We'll be back right after this.
Have the past few weeks or months been challenging? Yes, for all of us. We've been thrown into circumstances which we could never have imagined. Loss of jobs, working from home, general uncertainty, all while dealing with COVID. It's causing us to be a little on edge. If you need someone to talk to, Dr. Angela Chester can help. Visit newlifepastoralcounseling.com to get started. We're in this together.
Welcome to Daily Spark TV. Are you an author with a faith-based book? Be a guest. Serious about your product or service and want to try something new? Sponsor an episode. I see you're ready to get started. So visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.
A natural disaster may force you to evacuate, and the coronavirus could impact your emergency plans. So take steps now to help your family and community prepare. Keep a supply kit stocked with cloth face coverings, disinfecting supplies, and hand sanitizers. Check with local officials about what shelter spaces will be open during quarantine efforts. And remember to review the CDC's guidelines with the whole family. Disasters won't wait. Neither should you. Visit ready.gov/plan to make a plan today.
Hi everyone, Dr. Angela here. Just wanted to take a second to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. So from me and my family and all of us here at Daily Spark, may you have a very Merry Christmas.
Refreshed in His Spirit, anywhere online that books are sold, and stephaniegurley.com or Facebook under Southern Spirit at Steph Gurley.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I'm Dr. Angela Chester, but my guest today is Stephanie Gurley, and I'm so excited to be talking to her about her book, Refreshed in His Spirit. Now, Stephanie, the next question I have for you is about, and we kind of touched on it a little bit before the break, and that is getting through illness and still holding on to your faith. For so many people, they have a tough go at it because they're not sure how to be sick and be faithful at the same time. How did you deal with that?
Well, it was hard, it was struggles, but let me remind you that the simple things help me have faith. The simple things like someone saying, I'm praying for you. Getting cards in the mail was huge to me. I just was in awe that somebody would send me a card that I didn't even know because a family member told them about me and my condition. And people took time that didn't know me to send me a card. I mean, I had a box of cards. It was the little simple things that really helped me in the hard moments. And I think the more you are a babe in Christ, that those simple things mean huge, huge amounts of love to you. And so much love was given to me that helped me get to the point where I finally surrendered my life to God completely and wholly, and started learning the Word, and those greater lessons really took me through the end and to my healing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to applaud you for choosing to turn to God as opposed to turning away from God. So many times when people go through that hardship, they get mad at God or they get upset and go, I've been praying for all these years and look at what's happened to me. But you didn't do that. And bravo for choosing to turn to God instead of turning away. Now, I know that many times when we go through illness or any type of tragedy for that matter, having a support team is really important. One of the things that I think most people will say is, how do you help your loved one go through dealing with a life-changing illness? Do you have any words of encouragement for someone right now that they're not the person going through it, but perhaps they're the person who loves someone, they're a member of that support team, that if you received that, you were so grateful for that. So do you have any words of encouragement for them that perhaps they can do something to assist their friend or loved one who's going through it right now?
Yes. So if you, I spoke one time and it was, remember that that person isn't in your shoes and you're not in their shoes. And so we can never understand each one's side because we don't wear their shoes. But so we can be there and we can love them, and we can share all that love through cards is a big deal, especially now. Share the love to others through cards and I guess social media, email. Put yourself out there. If God puts it on your mind for somebody, act on it, because they may not be here tomorrow. Give them encouragement and pray with them. Praying with people is just an honor. I covet the prayers when someone says, "Can I pray with you?" So, just being there, loving them, praying for them. I think that's the best thing they can do, and not be selfish, even though perhaps we're not the one going through it. Don't be selfish because we don't know what they're going through.
I love that piece of advice because, like you said, you don't know what the other person is going through. And, I found that even in speaking with other women that were going through their own journey of breast cancer, we may be labeled the same thing, breast cancer, may even have the same stage. But our stories were so different in how we each were dealing with the process of treatment or dealing with having a support team or not having a support team. You are so right. Don't try to do all of the comparison. Just love them. That is so true. Just help love them through that moment. I love that. I love that. Now, when you were completely done with the process of writing your book, you've selected your cover, and your book is now available for others to read. How did you feel in that moment when you were holding copy number 1 in your hands?
Excited, totally excited, and it just wasn't real. But I knew it was because I was obedient to God. Obedience matters. That was the ultimate reason, is because I was obedient. We just don't know the blessings that are ahead when we are obedient to God. So it was exciting and surreal.
I love that. And I asked that question because for me, it helps other people understand the journey, especially when you're writing about something that has happened to you personally, that you have not only been able to overcome the trauma that has happened, the incident that has happened, but you've shared the story, and now you see that your hard work has paid off because you are about to inspire someone else with your having gone through it all. It is so wonderful to know that people are still willing to share their story, the growth, the ups and the downs of this journey called life. And I love that you're inspiring people, like you said, even with everything that is going on, even with COVID. Now, at the end of the day, we do so much in our lives and we wear so many hats and we have so many labels that we could use to describe ourselves. At the end of the day, how do you describe yourself? What makes you you today?
I believe that so many think they are defined by their life or defined by their past or defined in how bad they did or defined in how good they did. What negativity they've heard through their life. You know, everyone, so many let their self become defined. But I'm here to tell you, we're not defined by that. We are defined when we become saved by God. He chose us. We're defined by God. He's chosen us. He has redeemed us. He loves us. He calls us to his purpose. And that is what defines us. And that is who I am, is I'm defined by God. I'm not defined by when I was in school, I did awful. I'm not defined by that kid that made fun of me. I'm not defined by popularity. I am defined by the King. And I'm the daughter of the King, and that's who defines me, and that's who defines you. And so if you're listening to Satan, heaven forbid, you listen to him anymore and you become a child of God and be defined by him, because there is greatness living for the Lord.
I could not have said it better myself. It is wonderful being a king's kid. And you are so right. Please don't listen to what Satan is telling you. Believe the word of the Lord. I know that's whose report I will believe. And I know that's whose report you are definitely believing as well. And that is so beautiful. Now, I know that for so many folks, they're always looking for a really good book. And so many writers write to a particular audience. You were sharing your story, however, so this question may be a little different, but I'll ask nonetheless. And that is there a particular person that the book is geared towards? Or let me ask it the way I traditionally do. Is this book okay for someone as young as high school, or should they be a little older and, let's say, college age, simply because they need a little bit more life experience?
It is geared from high school forward to no matter how old you are. There's just all kinds of devotional and encouragement in different levels and different ages through the book. It also is to inspire you that, you know, if you are sick and you're living through suffering right now, don't let that keep you from living. So many want to quit living because they're scared of their death, or they're scared they're gonna get sick. If you let your illness stop you in your tracks, you're suffering your own blessings and you're suffering your life. God's given us life to live more abundantly, not to bind us. And so go out and live like there is no tomorrow. Live life to the fullest, even while you're sick. So, and I know some people can't, you know, do as much, and they're maybe bedridden, but live that life to your fullest with joy.
Absolutely. Live your life to the fullest in the Lord. I love it. I love it. Well, Stephanie Gurley, I have so enjoyed my time with you here today. And thank you so much for being a guest today. But before I let you go, can you remind everyone one last time, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And how do we stay in contact with you?
Refreshed in His Spirit, anywhere online that books are sold. And stephaniegurley.com or Facebook under Southern Spirit at Steph Gurley.
Thank you again for being a guest today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And viewers, thank you for spending time with me here today as well. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to spend it with us today, and I thank you for doing so. As always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember that in you, you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hi, do you have something to share? Be a guest. Want to sponsor an episode? Visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.
Refreshed in his spirit, anywhere online that books are sold, and stephaniegurley.com or Facebook under Southern Spirit at Steph Gurley.
I wear a mask because
I wear a mask because it's a tiny sacrifice to protect your freedoms.
I wear a mask because I can help stop the spread of COVID-19 in my community.
I wear a mask because I care about you, even if I don't know you.
I want to keep doctors, nurses, and other essential workers safe.
I wear a mask because I can, but my baby can't.
I wear a mask because I want to feel safe sending my kids back to school. My kids wear masks to keep their friends safe.
I wear a mask because I want you to stay healthy.
I wear a mask because I really want to get a haircut soon.
I wear a mask because I care about the health and well-being of those around me.
I wear a mask because I might not know that I'm sick.
Yo uso una máscara para mi familia y la comunidad.
I wear a mask because I want to keep others safe.
I wear a mask because I want to protect everybody.
I wear a mask because too many people who look like me are getting sick and dying from COVID-19.
I've grown fond of seeing people smile with their eyes. It's a beautiful experience in these times.
Do it for their futures.
Even if you don't have to, I hope you choose to.
Hi everyone, Dr. Angela here. Just wanted to take a second to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. So from me and my family and all of us here at Daily Spark, may you have a very Merry Christmas.
Oh.